SMD Law is the official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Check them out on the interwebs at smdalaw.com or at 866-529-3537. No matter where you are in the state of Michigan, Upper Peninsula, Lower Peninsula, it doesn't matter. They have an office near you. So whether you need to send a letter to an annoying neighbor, or you're a criminal and you need defense, maybe you just have problems with elder law, check them out, smdalaw.com today. The official law firm of the Spartan Nation. Call them first, then you act.
Before I start on us, you got to give Ferris a lot of credit. I told my guys when they came in that it's one of the top Division II teams in the country. Picked to win the league by landslide. They had some junkyard dogs that just played hard at center, could play at a lot of places. And, you know, and then like you tell teams happen, we banked in 1-3. We made a hell of a defensive play, and we, you know, Miles contests that one in the goaltending 3 that I think was a foot short. But not that the call was bad, it's just that we did play good defense. And then the other one that hit and went up to the ceiling and came back down through. So that's 3 of their 7. That's what happens when teams get going. What I was most disappointed in is our defensive effort. I felt a couple guys let their offensive woes get to their defense. We didn't get back very well. We looked tired. I don't know if it was emotional. As I said, you know, we had a couple guys, if my two guards go 2 for 22, we probably won't win any games. But I don't see that happening. Those are 2 of the hardest working guys I've got. They spend a lot of time in there. They just missed some shots, but I was disappointed in both of them, especially Josh's. You know, the head went down and, you know, first time a little adversity. And so I think in a way it was good for us. You know, we had to play without Miles for half the first half. That was good for us. Nick's got an illness in his family, and it was a little bit of a tough night for him going in the last 2 days, and so I'm giving him a hall pass on that. But there were bright spots. It was, you know, Xavier Tillman had 5 rebounds in 7 or 8 minutes, and I think he had no turnovers and 3 assists. And I think Jaron really grew up tonight. I say that because he's been getting pushed a little bit more in practice, and he responded, and that's what the great players do. You know, Miles responded coming back. And Cassius played so well on that one end. Still working on the other end, but really played well, shot well, distributed it pretty well, had 5 assists. One of those guys make any shots, he probably gets 10 assists. And so a lot to coach tomorrow, a lot to work on. Free throw shooting was a positive. Offensive rebounding was a positive. Turnovers in a game like that was a positive. And getting 72 shots up was a positive. Transition defense was a negative. Our total defense was a negative. Our rebounding in the first half was a negative. And our shooting percentage was a joke. So, all that being said, I thought Ferris, like I said, did a lot of good things. They got some guards that can really drive the ball. And I thought they gave us trouble because we've been playing big, and you know, sometimes they went real small. And I thought that was affected us, so give their coach credit, he did a hell of a job. Questions?
Tom, 2 questions for you. First, what's going through your mind the moment you see Miles go down like that in an exhibition game?
Nothing. Nothing. I saw him hit his head, and when I went out there, he said he was okay. I'm not sitting here worried about every injury. Absolutely 0 went through my head. He's a tough kid. You know, it just says a lot about him that I told him at halftime, you know, you don't have to play the second half. It's an exhibition game, you know. And he looked at me like I was crazy, so I decided to play him. Probably a good thing I did. Second part.
The second part is, with Joshua, he tries so hard, but when he misses his first shot, is he one of those guys that just, it's so important to get him on early because it affects him the entire rest of the game?
Well, I wouldn't say it's been that way the whole time. I'd say that he did that tonight. And he's worked so hard on his shooting and spent so much time in the gym that I think he was pressing a little bit. And took a couple bad shots early, and then had some great shots in the second half and just missed them. But out of character for him, how he, some of the shots he took, and then I thought he just, it really affected the other end for him. A lot of times we didn't know who we had, and we looked a little dysfunctional, but at the same time, when you're subbing a million guys for the first time and without a lot of rhythm to it, and then when Miles got hurt, that changed some things, and I thought that had a little bit to do with it. I thought those guys, they did a better job of rotating their guards than I did with mine, and some of it hurt because Miles was out, and some of it with, Arn's coming back, we just get a better rotation there.
I was going to ask you about that. After Miles goes out, and you guys were up 7, they cut it, took the halftime lead. I mean, what did you see from your guys in that stretch after Miles went out?
Disappointment, I didn't see anybody step up, mostly on the defensive end, and like I said, in that period of time, they hit those 2 threes that were a little bit unconventional, but that's what's so cool about being a Division II school, because I've been there and done that. This is the greatest opportunity of sometimes their year and sometimes their careers. I mean, I played at Michigan State once when I was in Garland up there fighting through the snow, so I have a great appreciation for the energy that they played with, and we have practiced so much harder than we played that surprised me. But I'm not worried about it being that's who we are, because I've seen who we are over the last 5 months.
Tommy, over here, you mentioned you pushed Jaron a little bit in practice, so why did you kind of feel necessary to do that, and how did you kind of do it?
I try to push everybody, but sometimes those freshmen, they don't know how to handle it. First times, there's a lot of firsts when you're a freshman. First big test, first this, first that. First time you get chewed out for, all those things. We were impressed, like we said yesterday after practice, wow. He flipped the switch, like he just kind of got it. Had a hell of a practice, but had a better game than he had practice. If you look at the things, and as I told my team and told him after, he did nothing that he normally does. He's usually shooting a bunch of threes and making them. He didn't take one. He didn't really post up. He got offensive rebounds. He drove to the basket. He put the ball on the floor. He had no turnovers, and he had 8 block shots. And he just played with effort. Now, he's got some skill. Someone the skill, if he plays with effort, and the skill is already there, that was my worry. You saw the second half, he got really, really, really tired. And that was pretty cool too, because that means he went and pushed himself as hard as he could push himself. I've always been impressed with Jaron, but I was more impressed with him because of the way he did things. Pretty good.
Anything else, guys?
One more. Tom, just following up on the point with Jaron, you're talking about effort and skill. He seemed to have, like you mentioned, just touched on, a feel for the game, a maturity level, and that was very noticeable on both ends of the court. Where does he go from here? What's the next step for him?
Oh, to continue to get tougher and stronger, and now kind of feel where he needs to be, when he needs to pick and pop, when he needs to post. But he showed some aggressiveness now. He didn't play against the biggest team, Ferris, but that hurt him on one end, and he did a decent job. On the other end, he just took it at him a little bit, and it takes a lot to impress me, but I was impressed. I was impressed because of just the demeanor he played with. I thought that was the one thing that he had to really improve on here, So he gained 18 pounds. He's gotten stronger. And the last 2 or 3 days, the light bulb went on. And kind of funny because talking to his family, throughout the summer, his mother kept saying, he'll get it. He'll adjust, he'll get it. And a couple days ago, we challenged him. And he showed, you know, what he can do. That's always the greatest part of coaching, to be honest with you.
Just staying with Jared, have you had a player quite like him here?
Yeah, we had one Magic, you know. I'm just kidding. You know, I've not, you know, I mean, Adrian and Didi were, you know, similar lengths and things like that. But he has a very, very high basketball IQ, as you said, too, and really has a feel. But he's got a long ways to go. I mean, he was the first one to say it after, but he, you know, he still can really shoot the ball, and he didn't even take a shot. I don't know if he took one shot outside of 2 feet, did he? And I don't know if in a month of practice he's taken 10 shots inside, you know, inside of 2 feet. So really interesting how that worked. And but it was kind of a learning curve for him to see, wow, if I can do this now, and I can shoot it, and I can do this, and I can put it on the floor. That's being able to do all three, and add a few block shots, and he did a hell of a job. He kind of saved us. Cassius saved us in the second half, but it's hard to believe that we shot that way. It was another thing that was hard to believe is the way they ran it down our throat, I thought. We didn't get back, you know, we're sitting there celebrating like we're playing for the national championship. That was a little immature on our part. But at times we're very young out there still, so we got a little bit of growth to do. Yes?
Coach, the offensive weapons that were put on the floor at once was at times remarkable to see. And now that you see them on the floor, just talk about how excited you are about this team and what they can do this year.
Well, I'm really excited about those offensive weapons I see. I'd like to see those offensive weapons come true, you know, because we did not play very well offensively. We just did not do the things you need to do. We didn't move the ball. You know, it's a little hard to say we only had 17 assists on 25 baskets, because 17 assists on 25 baskets isn't awful. It's not very good for us, but when those two guards go 2 of 22, if they make a couple, you know, all of a sudden you're up there and, you know, a lot more assists. Cassius has more assists. It would have been a lot better. So I'm excited because I still feel everything I felt about this team. I'm just disappointed that a couple guys really got down and let their offense dictate their defense. And when really they had to improve their defense, they're going to be able to be okay offensively. I'm not worried about that, but defensively, we got some work. So this is exactly why you do this. You know, play a bunch of people, you get a chance to see what they're like. You play a team that can give you some problems. You know, I mean, this team, 4 guys that could drive the ball and a post player that could play probably at a lot of Division I schools. So, and very well coached, very, very well coached team. So it was perfect for us, except for the way we responded, not the way we shot, the way we responded. So tomorrow it'll be a little livelier practice. You know, we'll spend a little more time on our defense and see if we can guard somebody.
Yeah, and I also just wanted to ask quick, you know, people just say, oh, exhibition doesn't matter, but seeing them out on the floor for the first time, what does that do to help you guys grow as a team?
Well, it does a lot because, you know, we've played against each other for so long. You know, the advantage and disadvantage of the 2 hours a week in the summer is, it seems like you're just playing against each other forever. You know, you hear in football after 3 weeks, they're sick of playing against each other. Well, my guys have been playing against each other since the middle of June. And so they're a little sick of it, but they better figure out a way to not let a few offensive woes get to their defense. I guess that semi was good about Miles. You know, I didn't think he was great for Miles, but missed some shots. But he played hard. He took the ball to the rim after those first 3 shots. I said, Miles, you gotta get the next 3 times he got fouled and got some free throws. And I think he got as many free throws tonight as he maybe got most of the games last year. So that's encouraging for us too, because if he gets to the line, he's going to score a lot more points.
Tom, to kind of piggyback on what you said, you gave Ferris credit when you first got here. When the score was 60-60, did it ever creep in your mind, did you ever look to your assistants and say, there's a chance we may not come away with the victory tonight?
Oh, yeah. You know, the good thing is, back when that happened against Grand Valley, how many years ago, Jack? You're the 08?
07, 08 season.
So that's 9 or 10 years, I don't know. But we had just got that new locker room, and they didn't get to be in it for a week. They changed out in the, you know, in the hallways. Girls would have a field day. But this time we would have had to kick them out of the whole building since it's all new, and that would have been really good, changing out in the courtyard. It would have been exciting anyway. But yeah, you know, and I told them, I'm not going to save you. You know, there was a couple times I didn't think Cash guarded anybody, and I told them that I'm just going to put you back in there and see what you can do. You know, I wanted to see if they could play themselves out of it that last 5 minutes. They did a little better job of it. It wasn't great, but they did a little better job. But yeah, I definitely thought about it. Of course, when you're coaching and you're ahead by a couple or tied late in the game, you always think you're going to lose. You know, you always got that in your mind. Like, wow, you know. Hey, we'll get better, and I think we'll get better tomorrow. I think we got some things now to really work on and coach. I think we'll have a few people that'll listen a little better, although can't say they haven't done that because they've been great. But Georgia, Ferris is a damn good Division II team. But Georgia's going to be a better, you know, I think all-around team. So we're going to have our hands full over in Grand Rapids. What an exciting venue. Exciting that they sold it out. Credit to Mark Hollis and our people. Give credit to their people over there. And somewhere behind the scenes, I'm sure Sekia, you know, did something to keep all those people get 12,000 or whatever we got going there. So I'm really looking forward to that because I think it'll be a whole nother different kind of team. You know, we played a real small team tonight that drove all of us. This will be a little bit bigger team. See how we handle that. Thanks.